Hello everyone! Welcome to the stream of the Cold Open Cup, round of 16, between, if I mispronounce this, I don't know, it's At and Muhammad SUMBUL. I'm Silvas Kaels, and joining me is gonna be Yuki Nameng, or actually Sir285. Hello there!
Hello there. And yes, I am live in Yukina Meng's house right now. Yukina Meng, you can introduce yourself.
Hi!
Oh my gosh, why? Why?
So, starting things off, I am not particularly sure if everyone's here, but considering that the stream is up, I think it's safe to say that both teams have at least 2 players, which is a good sign. Okay, there we go, yeah, both teams have each, every required player here, so that's nice to see.
So, this is the first time I actually seen both of these teams, and Team At literally has 2 players I know very well, and I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah, this is kind of the first time I'm seeing Danny in a tournament setting that's not SV focused. So it would be interesting to see how he performs in a situation like this. As for Muhammad SUMBUL though, I've heard of I Love Lebanon already. This is the #1 Lebanese player. It's nice to see players from countries just rise up. It's really, really good to see them represent their own, especially when it's a place where you don't really hear players from.
Definitely. And there's just something about seeing also these unfamiliar names. I mean, both of us have been super, let's say we're super veteran, very experienced in the tournament scene over the past, 5, 6 years, 7 years. And just seeing these newer names makes things feel good, since these might be the next heroes of the game.
Exactly, and honestly though, this map would kind of look appropriate for this round. Maybe a little bit higher, at least judging from the map pool, star ratings, it's kind of around there. And you can kind of tell that Muhammad SUMBUL has sort of a rise advantage when it comes to app, especially considering that this isn't the most straightforward timing signature.
We are seeing the Muhammad SUMBUL team. I had to say it that way. Well, you see in general compared to Team At?
I mean, the thing is, Team At still has 2 FC, so luckily they're not just out of the game just yet. However, this is a bad sign if this is literally what they're trying to look for, unless this is Muhammad SUMBUL's warm-up.
I mean, obviously with these players being let's say lower level in general compared to whatever we're used to practically. It's just interesting to see how they will deal with obviously strategies and all that stuff. But then obviously these 2 teams did reach round of 16 in this tournament, and they should be able to get into the rhythm already what to do.
Interesting thing is, App actually has a #6 score on the qualifiers, which is LN2. And with that in mind, you can already tell that if Muhammad SUMBUL has been doing their homework, they're definitely banning LNs, as that is actually one of the biggest.
Double combo break on Team At.
Oh, that's not good. And as you say that, this really begs the question. I think this is gonna be one of those matches where it's gonna be just
Well,
Rice versus
also-
LM.
Oh, getting a combo break as well on those mini jack transitions after the LN. There's like the same place where Danny and Jackie got their drops as well. It might be just some, let's say, some issue just hitting that part. I'm not sure, or it might be just the jitters, the pre-match jitters.
Yeah, I mean,
But But I'd say it's interesting to see what will happen since, as far as the notes I've been given about the pool, there are quite a lot that have, let's say, mini jack usages, and they have to be kind of careful with those.
true, and the map has been switched really fast, but I can tell both players from each teams had like similar ratios with their teammates. But Danny, I think, had a lot more 200s than his counterpart, which is kind of a bad sign actually, because it's just interesting that now we're seeing how each player fits into skill sets that you don't really see often in 5 digits.
Well, I think we're taking a toilet break, I think, for what is here. So while we're waiting, do you have any interesting topics to talk about?
Isn't well, first off, isn't this a like song that you usually hear in a standard map?
Yes, it is. Will Stetson Harumaki Clover. So, Harumaki Kroba.
Damn! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, it's standard. It's standard. There's a script. Oh, whoops. Oh, I didn't see the actual F word.
You didn't say. You didn't say. It's safe. It's safe. And like if you said it, it's gonna be. It's gonna be.
Fire truck. Fire truck.
It's gonna be, exactly. It's gonna be in the name of Yukinameg as well.
Yeah. Well, anyways, here we go with Harumaki Clover, a 27-second chart.
Yeah, I wonder how difficult this is. I mean, it's okay. It's technical again. It's pretty technical again, and oh,
And he kind of struggling with these mini court jack gluts.
okay, court jacks, of course. This
Court jack.
I just really find it interesting that we're seeing these kinds of like different factors.
This is a 5-digit tournament, right?
Yeah, this is 5 digits. Exactly, 5 digits.
I didn't know that 5 digits are capable of hitting 187 1/2 core jacks. I didn't know.
Well, that's how good players are now. You know, I like. It's really just. It's really amazing to see how much the player base has improved. And now,
Also, just a note, Hello actually has a V1 double S on this warm up.
yeah, and something interesting to know as well. Everyone basically has the same ratio, and Hello was the one with the lowest ratio, which is really surprising. Oh wow, both very high rolls, but unfortunately, Lebanon is gonna be the one that's gonna get the victory. Okay, so we'll have to see how they strategize in this case. Also, no 1v1s are happening in this tournament. Just saw the chat right now. If I don't know actually, would I choose to ban or second for? Well, there you go. They chose to. Oh wait,
Ban
no,
first.
no. They haven't said anything yet. I apologize for that.
Yeah, I never said anything.
But I don't know actually. If you don't know that much information, either way kind of works. Because unless you have like a clear idea of how the other team is, then I don't see that much of a difference on the order of the picks. But I would slightly lean towards banning second at least. Because I don't want to be the first one to have a risk of losing the point.
Definitely. But it does seem like both of these teams already made the decision, and I think Mohamed Sambul will be banning first. I think, based on what the chat said. I hope somebody could confirm.
I hope as well. Okay, so I
And
guess
Team At protected LN3, which is
a
the
fascinating.
Fascinating Cat's Eye. And Mohamed Sambul will be protecting.
I would be expecting something like Kenshi Poden.
Maybe. But if anything, based off the warm-ups, I'd say they might as well protect one of the harder rice picks. But maybe just get that out of the way, or because I'm not sure. Like, based on how they just perform in the warm-ups, they should be fine with anything in the rice bracket. And there we go. I love Lebanon placing ours Rice One, the Crimson Empire, into the protect as a protect. So we'll be seeing the bans, I would think.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate considering that it is the one with the highest star rating, other than, of course, the tiebreaker.
Obviously.
Of
Now,
course.
now you mentioned that Team At has possibly one of the better LNs in the entire roster. So now that we're in the banning phase, we might be seeing Muhammad Sambol getting something out. Wait,
Okay, okay. Wait, no. Ant's gonna ban it first.
yeah. Okay, there we go.
Alright, alright.
But I'd say, yeah, both are reasonable. Muhammad Sambol banning a LN pick, as I mentioned, that was where I was supposed to go to, and Team At banning Coco Water Slide. Coco Water Slide.
Is it? Wait, it's pronounced Coco, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Coco. That's not. Oh shoot! I got used to the other way to say it.
Anyway. So, yeah, as you said, it does make sense, these two bands. As long as they ban Rice, like, as long as At ban Rice, and as long as Muhammad Sambal banned an LN, I think it either way makes sense. But now,
This is honestly one of the more straightforward to predict strategies. Now that we're just waiting for the first pick.
the only thing I kind of like
And
dislike.
they're already going for Rice One for their protect immediately as the first pick. I would see.
This is really something you see often. Usually, protects are either saved for like last, or sometimes some brave teams or players would opt to pick their opponent's protect. You usually just don't waste your protect very early on in the tournament or in the tournament match, because sometimes it's basically your last resort. And when you're in the worst case scenario, you essentially want to have your biggest chance of winning to save yourself from that. But now, picking your protect essentially kind of could give you a big advantage if you surely win it, but it would be difficult to save yourself from a dire situation, like I mentioned a while ago. But the good thing is, there's still a lot of rice picks left.
There is definitely a lot of Rice charts remaining, and again, it's a pretty long match. Anything could happen. But there are even just those players who would like to get their safest pick out of the way. Like, just get that 1 point. Just get that guaranteed. Like, start having the momentum on their side already. And we cannot really blame people for doing that.
That's true, and I'd like to say this as well. Strategizing as a 5-digit, it's actually one of the, at least in my opinion, one of the most important skills to obtain. Like, even as a 5-digit, I feel like that's something you really must attain. Especially considering back then, 5-digit tournaments weren't really a thing that happens a lot, unlike right now. So at least they have the opportunity to exercise that ability to strategize and make sure you know what you're doing when you're playing the match.
Oh yes. Anyways, here we go with the Crimson Empire. Very early on into the pick, and does look like Muhammad Sambul is just trying to stay ahead, but both teams pretty much toe to toe with each other. We might be seeing some dynamics later on into the match. Jackie Lam actually having the highest accuracy in the entire multiplayer room. Danny and I Love Lebanon basically similar accuracies. Hello at 99.6, which actually no, yeah, both Muhammad Sambul players already at 99.6, which gives them a very very small advantage over Team A.
That's true, and it's that lead between I Love Lebanon and Danny PX that's giving the lead to Muhammad Sambul. Because Jackie Lam and Hello are literally the same. So they'll have to hope for one drop. And this part is pretty relentless on the jump stream, as evident on Danny PX's UR.
Danny PX is actually hitting quite late. If you're noticing the hit error.
That's true, but Hello did drop. That's true, but Hello did drop once. However, the accuracy is now on Muhammad Sambul's I don't even know this advantage. Yeah, advantage.
I'm actually dropping quite a lot of their accuracy already, at almost getting to 98%, below 99%, just hovering above 99 flat. I Love Lebanon really flexing that accuracy muscle right there with the 99.6. Really showing some impressive form here as we enter the final quarter of the chart. Hello's miss doesn't look like even phased them at all. Danny PX kind of just there at the mid 99.1s. Jackie Lam trying to get that accuracy as high as possible, possibly hoping as well for a bit from Team Muhammad Sambul, but it does look like Muhammad Sambul might be able to get this one guaranteed point from their protect. Just a few more notes.
That's true, and Lebanon, I Love Lebanon's really putting it. Wait a minute, I think that's a little bit too late for that. And
yeah, it's definitely too late for that. Muhammad Sambul getting their first point on the board. Only 7,200s from I Love Lebanon. Very, very impressive there from the number one Lebanese player.
That's true, and Hello actually getting the lowest score in the whole lobby, but that's only because with the misses there. Interestingly enough, we do see 2 full combos at that, but that's certainly not going to be enough if the accuracy is not cut out to be above the average accuracy of the opponent team. But if there's a silver lining here, this is the opponent's protect. And if you think about it, a 16,000 point lead, it's pretty big.
Danny PX already going for LN2.
That's true, and LN2, I think this is the best.
Yeah, this is they're basically pitting the protects against each other. Okay, no. This was the unprotected LN pick. Okay, there we go.
That's true, yeah, that's true. Crazy. I almost said crazy cat's eye. Fascinating.
Wait, are we watching Yellow's marble runs right now?
No. Yep.
I saw the prize.
But anyways, this pick, in my opinion, really favors At. You can already tell from the song that it kind of sounds very releasey, especially with how slow this is. And with that in mind, I think Muhammad Sambul could be showing a lot of weakness in a map like this.
The thing about LNs, at least for this part of the skill level spectrum, there's not really a lot of people who pick up LNs this early on. It's usually when players just get a bit more established already in their rise. But then we know the team at they have one of the better LN scores in the entire roster. Jackie Lam actually a pretty impressive start with a 99.7. I Love Lebanon struggling with the releases already just above 98%. A very, very dirty section, very, very dirty intro there from I Love Lebanon. Both players at Team At just hovering over 99 and we get the first miss.
Yeah, that miss is not gonna help at all. But if you think about it, they did win their first pick, so this shouldn't be too bad. But 2 minutes from I Love Lebanon.
Getting the drop as well. The lead starting to increase. Jackie Lam now showing one of the reasons why Team At had the better LN scores in qualifiers. 99.67. That is very, very good there.
Honestly, it seems like the less physical picks really favor At. Because you can tell Danny PX was struggling, same with Jackie Lam, on that jump stream pick because it was a relentless, stamina draining jump stream map that lasted for a while, and especially for 5 digits, that can be tiring. But Ellen is a different monster overall to pick up when you're a 5-digit. And I think we're going to be seeing two 980.
I love Lebanon. Kind of struggling with that coordination section. Already dropping to below 97%.
Yeah,
and yeah, there you go. We're back at square one.
I've never.
Also, that is a very nice score there from total team score.
That's kind of satisfying. Like you've seen exactly like even scores 0-0-0. I've never seen a 999 score yet, so this is very satisfying to see. But
also, I just like to take note about only 6 total 200s in total for Team At.
And yeah, that's actually that is literally three times lower than the player with the lower torrent count, which is Walt. So that just shows
it's just a third of the lower 200 count from Team MUHAMED SUMBUL. But then I think since they are the ones picking, we might be going back to the more physical end of the poll again.
I'm pretty sure, at least judging from the... I just realized what the icons are, by the way.
Yeah. Those are nice. The height. I'm just not sure why pickaxes are used for the tiebreaker. Or is it icebreaker pickaxes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, icebreaker, right? Wait, where is Rice?
Nope.
Wait, I'm pretty sure Rice 5 is Perspective by Sparky. Wait, okay, I think I Love Lebanon got this wrong. What the referee meant was there's maps from Rice 3 up to Rice 6, so 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6 are good to go.
On a side note, by the way, there is another match happening as of this moment between the American Outlaws and the world's fattest gamers. And they actually have yet to play their first map, which is what we're doing right now, I think.
And here we go. MUHAMED SUMBUL is going to be picking Blessing Snow. Oh my gosh, that pack name evokes a nostalgia. It's been years since I've seen a Hydria chart.
I mean, I agree, but like right beside it, Autotelic Brown, that's been a staple. And like, you know, when I think of like Autotelic Brown, it's like maps I see in Eterna that get ported on the OS for tournaments, if that makes sense.
Yup. It does look like we are seeing someone possibly still downloading the entire map set.
It's about to comment about how this sounded like a certain one crystal map. Like, it sounded like, what was that again? The Chinese dress thing? And then I saw the artist.
It's the same composer.
Yeah, it sounded like Uranium as well, but it's also the same composer, so it makes sense.
Oh, okay. We're immediately going for Blessing Snow. Like, we just barely processed everything. But anyways, here we go. On a virtual best of 7 match now.
The title of this song suggests this is really going to be a blessing for this team. Part of me feels like it's definitely going to be an advantage, especially considering with the type of map that we're seeing.
I'm looking at Danny PX right now, and they really struggle at the intro of this chart. Starting to recover the accuracy though, but like the amount of drops they made in the intro basically gave MUHAMED SUMBUL the advantage that they needed for this pick. Since, okay, I was about to say Jackie Lam had like the highest accuracy in their multiplayer room, but not anymore.
Yeah, it's really that accuracy from Danny PX is not helping whatsoever. And as of this moment, Jackie Lam is dropping significantly as well. Dropping below I Love Lebanon, and that's a really bad sign, especially considering that every team has full combos. And if that's the case, you would not want to have the lower act because that gives you a very slim chance of winning.
Oh, definitely. And both of these Jackie Lam getting a drop right there, and that is not going to help their cause right. That is not going to help their cause. I love Lebanon trading the miss, but still, like, the accuracy advantage is. Ooh, hello, dropping as well.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe, just be, but there's only quarter with short remaining, and the accuracy advantage.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No.
Okay.
Not over yet.
They're pulling ahead though. They're pulling ahead.
Danny PX has to keep that combo. Same with Jackie Lam. We cannot see one miss.
I love Lebanon getting a drop, but is there enough time though? Is there enough time?
The question is the pull enough? There's basically no more map left. Any more misses from MUHAMED SUMBUL will give it to At. Wait a minute. There's the last part. Oh my god, this pull is so violent. Oh my god. They just barely.
Okay.
That was
just enough for MUHAMED SUMBUL to get their second point.
Oh my god. You know, I wanted to say this a while ago, but like, remember when I was talking about how they won their own Protect? It was only by 15,000 points. Like, okay, I did say it was a big lead, but like, that's not too convincing for a Protect. And now you can kind of see that there's actually some vulnerability on MUHAMED SUMBUL's side when it comes to choking on Rice. Although it's
more of the issue, I'd say, of players around this level, since like maintaining that form to hit basically jacks. I mean, basically a good amount of this chart is jacking. Like, trying to maintain the form to hit those consistently is usually not something you'd expect at this level. So we saw that from both of these players in Team MUHAMED SUMBUL. But like, are there any other picks that have the same pattern though? It might be something a Team At could look at. Oh my gosh, Team At could look at. But instead we are going to change directions, and we'll be seeing the first hybrid pick of the match.
I gotta say, I was like really worried because, especially considering that there was only one LN pick left, I was like, would At really be willing to take the risk on the hybrids? And I guess that's what they're doing now. Which, in my opinion, you kind of have to do that. There's one more LN pick left. And there we go, both teams seem to be ready. I think if things go well, At could really take this. In all honesty, this seems like a tiebreaker potential match based on this how the skill sets go for both teams.
We'll have to see though, since this is still pretty early into the match, as much as we're only 4 charts in.
Again, this is one of the easier maps you can already tell from the pool when it comes to physical cap. And it really benefits At. Look at Jackie Lam's accuracy right now, 99.8. That is very rarely seen in a 5-digit player base.
Both the Team At pretty much showing some consistency here now. Jackie Lam actually carrying the almost 99.8 act, basically highest accuracy we've seen from any of these players in the entire match.
And this accuracy is really helping At. But this, I would have thought like that jump stream part would give the lead to MUHAMED SUMBUL for a bit, but I guess I'm wrong here. Looks like that choke from I Love Lebanon was really going to damage that.
And like, Jackie Lam dropping so much accuracy, but still, like, outright the highest. Like practically the reason why they are having this much of a lead. Even I mean, Danik TX does have the second highest accuracy in room wide. So unless we see some misses from Team At, this is practically straightforward for them now.
Yeah, this is kind of like an Ellen chart in a sense, because the Ellens here were placed in a very awkward position, and you can tell it's awkward based on the drop that Hello has conceded, which I think makes no more FCs for Mohamed SUMBUL.
Team At just needs to maintain this form now. Like just walk with this point home. Like they just need to keep this uneventful now from this point on. Just a few more notes.
And these streams really surprised me. It seems like Ad could hold the fort after all. And right now, you can tell that they have a clear advantage on the anti-meta stuff in comparison to the advantage that Mohamed SUMBUL has on the Ricey stuff.
And there you go. Match tied again. We're now practically a best of 5 right now, and this point, based on the patterning of the chart, should give Team At some confidence going into the later Rice picks. I would presume Team Mohamed SUMBUL will be picking something on Rice again.
Oh, wait a minute. Look at the chat right now. It seems like one of the players on Mohamed SUMBUL is going to be coming to join them. Also, I'm just going to say 990k 2x300s. You very rarely see people getting 990k as a 5-digit. Like, at least personally, it just goes to show how much players have improved in their fundamentals already.
Well, anyways, now we should be looking at whatever the next pick is going to be. I would, again, as I mentioned, I am presuming that Team Mohamed SUMBUL will be getting any of the remaining Rice picks as what they receive.
I think Mohamed SUMBUL should definitely pick another Rice. At some point, you kind of have to just realize that maybe it's okay if you don't take breakpoints as long as we win our own picks. And this is kind of the mindset that I am thinking that both of these teams have right now.
I love Lebanon getting on Rice 4 with... Let me guess. They're going to pick Rice 6 just because. So that they don't follow the sequence later.
We'll see. Let's see.
They're definitely going to pick Rice 5 probably. I'm not sure. Maybe Rice 6 just to break the sequence. It's kind of weird though. If you're going to picking stuff based on full order. Usually you would think about like, okay, what happened in the previous chart? Yeah, this chart has patterns. Let's maybe try avoiding the Rice picks that may be similar, like have similar patterns to the previous hybrid. That's some interesting thing to note. Anyways, here we go with Tenshi Korin.
Oh, that's a bad start.
Hello, actually getting a drop immediately, very early on the chart. Again, it's early into the chart. Jackie Lam's accuracy kind of below I Love Lebanon's as well. Hello should be able to recover the accuracy as soon as he could, but Jackie Lam already started to build up on that accuracy. So Team At getting the initial advantage of this pick.
Now this will last too long as the accuracy is increasing really fast from Hello. And there we go.
That
The
is
lead is
dropping to below 99% now.
So yeah, Mohamed Sambal has to drop once more if At wants to have a shot at the lead again. And those awkward technical patterns really hurt At, especially based on their performances a while ago.
These alternating roles and split roles really giving these four players a run for their money.
But it doesn't seem to trouble either Jaculam or I Love Lebanon, and in fact, Hello is actually increasing that accuracy really fast. Meanwhile, Danny PX
Hello is already above I Love Lebanon's accuracy now. Really, really impressive recovery there from the initial miss at the start.
That's a very, very good sign for Mohamed Sambal. But once again, they really have to keep their form on difficult patterns like this. I saw a 200 on Hello's side. These very not straightforward sort of streams or clamps could really be painful to hit if you're not careful. And this is the final stream part. It's almost time. Would we be seeing any final misses? I don't think it's gonna happen.
Getting a 200 right there, but it probably won't matter unless like somebody gets a very disastrous drop in the end. It just doesn't look like it. And
it seems that Mohamed Sumbul is getting this point. That's gonna be 2-3 in favor for Mohamed Sumbul.
That is a really impressive score from both I Love Lebanon and Halal. Jaculam also having really good accuracy there. In fact, the ratio is actually exactly the same as I Love Lebanon's. But Danny PX's 200s ultimately has been giving the lead that Mohamed Sambal needs. And there we go. They're picking LM3, which is kind of surprising because I would have thought they'd save that for last or later on into the match. But it looks like they're ready to pick this now. And I think this is a really good
like just a note, I'd say it's probably a good pick. It's probably to get it as a good pick right now, and maybe try not to risk getting any one of the hybrids. Like just get the tie, like just catch up immediately, and so that you don't need to get another break point at some point.
I mean, it's better to secure the tie now than losing your
secure the tie now.
Then something very scary happens later on, and you lose the momentum. Man, this is really shaping up to be a very interesting match, especially considering the disparity in skill sets from both teams.
Oh, somebody looks like there are substitutes, right? For
Correct, and there we go. The Pajero is gonna be coming in. I think you would place I Love Lebanon, especially considering that he's alone with the sort of LME is compared to Halal. And it's really nice to see a full team on Mohamed Sambal.
So this should throw a spanner into the works in Team At strategy right now. So it does look like Vegeto is not playing on their own setup right now, so it might be you might be seeing suboptimal play at least for Vegeto, unless they are able to replicate whatever their plays from one setup to another.
Well, as long as they're able to play, I don't think it should be a problem.
Ideally, like at least you get to show up, but on a more competitive point of view, like you kind of want to at least guarantee the tiebreaker, like guarantee the match point goes in your end as early as you could.
Sure, and hey, if Mohamed Sambol like loses this pick, the silver lining is this was not their selection. It's better. Obviously, it's better to lose. It's better to not lose a pick at all. But if you were to lose a pick, it's definitely gonna be the opponent's pick rather than your own.
And here we go with a fascinating cat's eye.
Oh my god! I almost said crazy cat's eye again. I almost said that again.
Hashtag eyes on the prize.
And right now,
We are not watching marble runs right now. We're watching Ostamania.
that's true. And right now, you can kind of tell the Vegero is dropping accuracy really fast.
Already struggling to maintain the S even in this intro.
And you can tell based on the UR, I think they're actually pretty centered. In fact, more centered than I Love Lebanon, but they're just hitting a little late.
I mean, Vegeto is very late actually. Like we're seeing like 10 to 15 milliseconds away from the center.
It could be some PC issue, but again, if you were to like tell me which one is more centered, I think it would be them. But on a side note, look,
Vegeto really struggling. Like they're already below 94%.
but the full combo is a full combo, I guess. So there's that. But At is not missing at all on any of these LNs. Like anything that involves a lot of long notes should certainly help their cause.
Like Jackie Lam really showing that LN prowess right now. 99.43% accuracy. Danny PX staying above 99%. Never mind.
Well, it doesn't really matter, especially if the other team has a 93 and one miss as well.
Vegeto really trying to get those hits centered now, but just struggling with the releases.
Well, as of this moment, we're still seeing FCs, except for I Love Them. Oh my god!
A double drop from from Muhammad Sambul. And I think that would seal this point for Team At right now, unless something disastrous happens on their end as well.
Honestly speaking, though, even if Alol played this, I don't think this would have been Mohamed Sambul's victory, especially considering with how well At has been taking these awkward LM patterns. Like,
Definitely.
they're just really good at being able to balance LN and Rice. And for a 5-digit, that's a really impressive skill to pick up early on as a player.
Like, how much more once they start like improving, like trying to break that barrier, reaching into the higher levels of the game. Like Jackie Lam, super impressive form right there, dropping from 99.4 to 99.2, but it doesn't matter as Team At will be tying up the match yet again.
Oh my goodness.
No one getting any breakpoints just yet.
And speaking of which, no one has gotten one miss. Look at the Vegero's score right now. It seems like they would actually have a better ratio than I Love Lebanon, based on how. They play with
default skin. Okay, that's understandable.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. For a default skin, though, that does not sound that's not a bad score at all.
Yeah, that's not a bad score. A default skin. Props to you for full comboing and LN chart in a tournament with a default skin.
Well, not zero missing. They're missing. Yeah. There was a combo break, but still.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
but
so
massive props.
Massive props still. So I think, oh my god, will they pick Ellen? Will they pick Rice 5 or Rice 6? Look at the chat. Can you pick a map that can be able to act? Thank you. And then no. I mean, of course, you don't want to pick a map that benefits the opponent, right?
Mohamed, I'm trying to ask which of the Rice picks are remaining. There are only 2 remaining, 5 and 6. Okay.
Wait, this.
Oh, they are picking Rice 6, as I said.
Wait a minute, that's not Rice 6, that's Rice 5.
Yeah, Okay, Okay, there you go.
There we go.
And this should be set as a pick for Team Muhammad Sambul if If the streamer could switch the color.
Oh my goodness. Alright, I think I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We just have
It
to
doesn't
tell.
really-
Like, I think if you've been following the match, you'd know that Rice is for Muhammad Sambal and Ellen Hybrid is for App. If I were like Muhammad Sambal, I would put Helol in first, just to make sure that the Vegeto is warmed up and is able to play in the skin that they're intended to do so.
Get the skin downloaded. Like, just get a general warm up in. Since I just have a feeling that this might go to tiebreaker after this pick. Like, obviously it still has to happen. And the other scary part here is that if the Vegeto stays in the multiplayer, stays here and plays this chart, there might be the risk of, Team At getting the breakpoint that they so wanted already. So yeah, obviously, like, just a tip for whoever is going to play in tournaments. If you're going to play on a different setup, at least make sure that you could try to replicate what you have. Like, at least the node skins and having the node charts loaded on your OC client. That's just a tip from me. Since I played in the Mania World Cup in an internet cafe and it isn't ideal.
Yeah, they're really taking their time. I think as the referee said, I think you should put in Hello while the Vegeto is getting a skin. Alright, I think that's exactly what's happening.
Like, again, like, on a more competitive point of view, you do want to get Hello in, since like they're the one who is more prepared for the match. Like, just try to get that guarantee point. That is if it's actually guaranteed, because who knows, these two players at Team At might be just hiding something under their sleeves.
Alright, I really think they should get Hello in as of this moment.
Yeah, they should.
Because I think I really do think the Vegeto could come in for the tiebreaker, and like, you would want to prepare for that situation, and ideally, that's the best time they could put them in. Alright, there we go. That's the right call. That's the right call in my opinion.
Like obviously, not playing for like a few minutes does, like, your hands get cold. Like, you obviously want to keep them warm as much as possible. Especially if you're going for the more physical play style.
Alright, there we go. Hello is in the turn. Hello is now in the match, which I think will be replacing the Vegeto.
And there we go. Finally, we are seeing reflective moment. Hopefully, these guys had a moment to reflect on their decisions going into this pick.
I agree. I really agree with that. But like, let's see. This is the final pick for Muhammad Sambal. And at least based on the sound of this, you can already tell it's gonna be a little technical, and I think that really benefits Muhammad Sambal a lot.
I love it on getting a very early 200 right there, but hello, carrying the accuracy load here for Mohamed Sambol. Danny PX, the lowest of the accuracies in the entire multiplayer room, trying to regain back that attack, but kind of struggling to get straight all 300s on the stream. Like at some point, Danny PX does drop some 200s after a certain end of a burst. Jack now seeing a 200 there, but faring better on the accuracy from Team At.
And
Like,
right,
from what we've been seeing, this is the least dense of the charts. But
oh my god, that triple jack.
jack. Okay, that's evil. That's
I'm surprised that we're seeing two FCs on the other side. I would have. Oh, but another miss!
Lebanon getting a drop on the trill. That gives Team At the lead.
But accuracy-wise, I think it's actually tied. Hello has been carrying, in terms of the accuracy, carrying the weight that Mohamed Sambol needs.
Yes, Hello is carrying the accuracy for Team Mohamed Sambol, but Danny PX and Jacqueline doing just enough to maintain the lead in their end. It's a pretty sizable lead as well, relative to the other picks we've seen. Danny PX hitting that trill very well.
So I think I saw 50 or 100 on Isle of Lebanon. That's not good news at all. They would have to hope that At misses at some point. But Hello drops! That seals the deal! I think we'll be seeing a breakpoint for the first time.
Yeah. Team At getting a break point when they needed it the most. And it's going to be their pick as well. Oh my gosh, Team Mohamed Sambol missing out on guaranteeing the tiebreaker, and now they're at risk of losing the entire match on going into the final pick of the match.
Looking at their accuracy though, Mohamed Sambol has the advantage, but man, if he can't keep consistent, unfortunately it's gonna be thrown over to the other team. I think if I were to choose a hybrid map, probably avoid the more rice one. So I think this one makes sense.
For the final pick outside the tiebreaker of the possible tiebreaker, we have Cyber Connect. Now here's the question: was there enough time for Vegeto to even warm up and at least get the setup running?
We'll have to see though. I think they're calling Vegetto. This is a very crucial call.
Right. Was that amount of time actually enough for them to get something running at least?
I think it was. I think it is enough time.
Ideally it is, but at least you would have liked to, get a something. And especially, this is a very vital pick since if Mohamed Sambol lose this, like it's over.
Well, here we go. The Vegetto is now in. This is potentially the final call that they'll make on this match. Will it be this? Is this going to be the one that sends them home? Or will we be seeing one more chance for them to live? And honestly, if I were Team At, I would not want this to go to tiebreaker.
Oh, definitely. And here we go, Cyber Connect. Who will connect to the next round between these two teams? Or are we going to see a tiebreaker?
Or, I like to call it the icebreaker. Oh no, what's happening to the Vegetto? Again, another issue on the skin.
It's probably the same issue from earlier.
Or honestly, it could
This is. Carry on.
it could honestly be a PC issue at this point if it's still the same skin. But I love Lebanon's drop.
as well.
It's not help.
Getting very early drop as well. This is what I meant by like, if you want to make an effort to get the extend the match get the match longer, like extend by one more chart, you might as well try to get the more competitive setup in. I get giving someone the chance to play if possible, but like
Hey, but
at
here's
least
the
be a bit more practical.
okay, but here's the question though: would it matter either way? Because Lebanon, Isle of Lebanon, unfortunately, is not able to have that accuracy, and the full combo that both players of the opponent team have isn't really helping their cause at all.
I mean, hindsight is 2020. Like, at least try to get the effort. At least try to get something in. Like try to keep everything close. I mean, we do see I Love Lebanon struggling with this chart, but like at least on the strategy wise, like going into a chart. I Love Lebanon kind of struggling with that transition as well, going to the LS, Jackie Lam and Danny PX faring very well. Both players still maintaining the full combos into the end of the chart, and I think it's to say that the breakpoint at got on the previous chart has proven to be vital for them, and they will be moving on to the next round.
Yeah, that is
Team at wins the match.
that is very unfortunate. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Both teams still did amazing. It wasn't really like a very one-sided match as well. And I'm just gonna say though, I know that was a very unfortunate situation, but what else could have been done? What else could have been done? You can't really. I don't think it was their fault anyway. Like they still did what they could in a setup like that, and I think it was a good performance regardless.
It was a good performance regardless. I mean, we've seen like somebody play with a default skin very well, and that's a good thing. Like the team Muhammad SUMBUL should still look at this with their heads held high. Like they performed very well. They got pretty decently deep into the tournament. But for Team At, they'll be moving on to the next round, and it will be getting harder from this point on.
That's
Like,
true.
they
And
keep up.
wait a second. What is this green screen fail? Oh my god! Look at the green screen. This reminds me of PH Nuts.
Yeah, it is the green screen thing. Yeah.